You've heard of the Great Pyramid of Giza. But what about the other ancient wonders that didn't survive? Massive tombs, colossal statues, towering lighthouses. All built thousands of years ago, now lost to time, rubble, or legend. Today, we'll uncover 5 forgotten wonders of the ancient world, their rise, their mystery, and how they vanished. Some were destroyed by nature, others by man. And one, we're still not sure it ever existed. The first one we're going to talk about is the tomb of Mausolus. Most people have no idea that the word mausoleum actually comes from a real person, Mausolus, the ruler of Caria, a region in what is now modern-day Turkey. Around 353 BCE, when Mausolus died, his grieving wife and sister, Artemisia II, decided to build him a tomb so grand that it would be remembered for centuries. And they succeeded. The tomb, located in Halicarnassus, stood nearly 45 meters tall, taller than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It wasn't just big, it was beautiful. 4 of the most famous sculptors of the Greek world, Scopas, Leocharis, Bryaxis, and Timotheus, were hired to design its intricate friezes and statues. Each side of the tomb depicted epic battle scenes, gods, and heroes. The structure blended Greek, Egyptian, and Lycian architecture, making it truly unique. At the top stood a massive chariot sculpture with Mausolus himself. But here's the twist. The tomb survived Alexander the Great, Roman rule, and Byzantine control. It was nature that finally brought it down. A series of earthquakes between the 12th and 15th centuries reduced it to ruins. Then, in the 15th century, crusaders from the Knights of St. John used the stones to fortify a nearby castle. Today, only the base remains, but its legacy? It's in every grand tomb we call a mausoleum. Moving on, we have the Statue of Zeus, the forgotten king of the gods. Imagine walking into a temple and seeing a 12-meter-tall golden god staring down at you. That was the experience for those who visited Olympia and ancient Greece. Built in 435 BCE by Phidias, the same genius who helped design the Parthenon, the Statue of Zeus sat inside the Temple of Zeus, occupying nearly the entire interior. Zeus was shown seated on a magnificent throne, holding a scepter in one hand, and Nike, the goddess of victory, in the other. His robes were made of carved gold plates, and his skin was made of ivory, a technique known as chryselephantine sculpture. Ancient writers said the statue was so awe-inspiring that people who saw it believed they'd glimpsed the divine. The Greek geographer Strabo said if Zeus were to stand up, he would unroof the temple. But where is it now? Some say the statue was moved to Constantinople in the 4th century CE, where it burned in a palace fire. Others think it was destroyed much earlier. Not a single fragment survives. Not a finger, not a throne leg. Only descriptions and coins bearing its image. Fun fact, the workshop of Phidias was actually discovered in 1954, and archaeologists found tools, molds, and even a cup with his name on it. On to the next we have the Colossus of Rhodes. Built in just 12 years, between 292 to 280 BCE, the Colossus of Rhodes was one of the most impressive engineering feats of the ancient world. Standing at approximately 33 meters tall, 108 feet, it was the tallest statue of the ancient world, and one of the most short-lived. The people of Rhodes built it to celebrate their victory over a siege led by Demetrius the Warriors of Macedon. The statue honored their patron god, Helios, the sun god, and was placed at the entrance to the harbor. Now, many depictions show the statue straddling the harbor, allowing ships to pass beneath. Sounds epic, right? But most historians believe that would have been impossible with the technology of the time. It probably stood on a single side of the entrance. It was made of bronze plates mounted on an iron framework, and the inside was filled with stone for support. The scaffolding and construction methods were said to be so advanced that they influenced Roman architecture centuries later. But just 54 years later, in 226 BCE, an earthquake brought the mighty Helios crashing down. For over 800 years, the ruins remained. Even broken, the Colossus was so magnificent that visitors came from far away just to see it. Finally, in 654 CE, Arab conquerors sold the bronze for scrap. Legend has it that it took 900 camels to carry it all away. Let's move on to the next one, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the beacon of civilization. Before GPS, sailors needed landmarks, and the greatest of them all was the Lighthouse of Alexandria, also known as the Pharos of Alexandria. Constructed between 280 and 247 BCE on the island of Pharos, it stood at the entrance of Alexandria's busy harbor. With an estimated height of up to 130 meters, 426 feet, it was one of the tallest man-made structures for centuries. During the day, it reflected sunlight with polished bronze mirrors. At night, huge open flames were lit, turning it into a shining beacon seen for miles. A spiral ramp allowed workers to carry fuel to the top. But the lighthouse wasn't just functional. It was an architectural marvel with 3 tiers: a square base, a cylindrical middle, and a smaller circular top. Some accounts even claim it had a statue of Poseidon or Zeus at the summit. It withstood time for nearly 1,500 years, but a series of earthquakes between the 10th and 14th centuries finally destroyed it. Today, parts of the lighthouse lie underwater off the coast of Alexandria. Divers and archaeologists have found enormous blocks and statues, proof that this wonder wasn't just a legend. And here's a cool fact. The word Pharos became the root word for lighthouse in several languages, including French, Italian, and Spanish. Last, and most mysterious of all, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Said to be built by King Nebuchadnezzar II around 600 BCE, these gardens were supposedly created for his wife, Amytis of Media, who missed her mountainous green homeland. According to ancient accounts, the gardens were a tiered series of terraces overflowing with exotic trees, fragrant flowers, and cascading waterfalls, all suspended in the middle of the desert. They supposedly used a complex irrigation system with water drawn from the Euphrates River using Archimedean screws or chain pumps, centuries ahead of their time. Writers like Strabo and Philo of Byzantium describe them in awe, but no physical evidence has ever been found in Babylon. Some historians now believe the gardens may have actually existed in Nineveh, the Assyrian capital, and were wrongly attributed to Babylon. So were they real? A translation error, pure myth? We may never know, but the idea has lived on in art, literature, and even modern architecture. These wonders remind us that human creativity, even thousands of years ago, knew no bounds. Though many are lost, their stories still shape how we see history today. Which of these forgotten wonders do you wish still existed? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because next time, we're diving even deeper into history's greatest secrets.